What's up guys, it's Consistency here, and today I'm doing a video on why Call of Duty is dying, or why it seems to be dying. So I'm just going to talk about my reasons on why people aren't liking the game anymore, or the new games, and possibly what Activision can do to get people to start liking the game again, and so Call of Duty can try and be successful again. So without any further ado, I'm going to get right into it. So the main reason people think Call of Duty is dying is because it's going futuristic. Like honestly, when people saw the Infinite Warfare trailer, there was just so much hate for it. Like no one saw campaign gameplay, and that's what the trailer was about. It was about campaign. No one saw any of that. And we for sure didn't see multiplayer. And for me, most Call of Duties have played campaign, but honestly, I don't care much about it anymore. Like for me, I really like playing just for multiplayer. And I was probably one of the few people to, first of all, like the Infinite Warfare trailer, and second of all, not judge the game before I even saw multiplayer, because I know I'm only going to play multiplayer, and I didn't want to judge it. So that's that. To me, I don't think Call of Duty is getting worse because it's staying in the future and with like futuristic weapons and futuristic maps. And personally, I don't even think it's getting worse just because of the advanced movement. I think Call of Duty is getting worse because not only are the developers out of ideas, but they launch a new game every single year. We do know like a few years ago, Sledgehammer got into it, and now there are 3 different studios making games every single year. But honestly, I think that actually may have made it worse. I like the idea of giving the studios an extra year to work on it, but after Infinite Warfare launched with so many problems, I don't know if like an extra year is really what they need. I think it would be better if rather than add another studio in, which they already did, but rather than doing that, I think it would have been better for the franchise if they actually skipped a year and released a new Call of Duty every other year. Because think of it this way. Think of games like Battlefield, think of Halo, and think of Gears of War, and I'll just start with those games. How often do those games really change? Like really? Is Gears of War 4 like super different from like Gears of War 2 or like Gears of War 3 or the one that came out after 3? And is Halo really that different like from like Halo 4 or Reach? There was a pretty big difference in like Halo like 4 and Reach. But like Halo 5, is it that much different than Halo 4? And they do have some more like, I think they might have some boost jumping. Like I don't remember for sure, but honestly, some games they really just don't change a lot, but people still buy them. I know Halo isn't doing as well as it used to, but Gears of War it's still basically as good as it used to be. Like the fans are still liking the game. So, the only difference between those games and Call of Duty is that Call of Duty comes out every year, and those games don't. Call of Duty, we've had a COD every year since like a long time. Like I don't know how far back, but I can guarantee you that ever since Modern Warfare launched originally, we've had a Call of Duty every year. We had World at War, we had Modern Warfare 2, and Black Ops, and so on from there. So, I think it would have been better if they don't release a Call of Duty every year. Because think about it. Let me compare it to like ice cream. Like everyone likes ice cream. Like ice cream is good to eat, like whether it's hot or cold, especially when it's hot. But if you eat it all the time, not only will you get fat, but you just won't like it as much every time. And even though you still like it, you're just not going to want it, and you're just going to be kind of bored of it. And just kind of maybe stay away from it for a while. The same thing is with Call of Duty, but I think this process is taking a lot longer. Call of Duty's been coming out every single year, and it honestly hasn't changed much. So every year people are getting the same thing for most of the time, and people were complaining about that before. Like before everyone was complaining about the futuristic stuff, they were saying Call of Duty stays the same every year. Why are these guys buying the same game every single year? Call of Duty has been the same every year, and I think finally people are getting tired of it. In my opinion, I'm personally not getting too tired of it because I play other games that are kind of different from like Call of Duty so I don't get too bored of it. But a lot of people play Call of Duty like more than other games, and they are starting to get tired of it. The developers kind of knew the game was getting the same every year, so they really did try to mix it up and change how it was. So if you guys remember in Ghost, they changed it. They added the knee slide, which kind of changed the movement a little bit, and they also added like leaning in and out of cover. So that was some small and minor changes to like the movement system and how the game kind of worked. But honestly, the game was still pretty much Call of Duty. But Ghost did have its problems, and I probably don't need to go over any of those with anyone. But yeah. So Infinite Warfare comes out, and people hated it before it came out, and people still don't like it. A lot of people claim it's because of the movement system, and because they don't like all the futuristic stuff, and they want boots on the ground. But honestly, I feel like the damage to the franchise is kind of already done. I mean, people have been playing COD every single year for like over 10 years, honestly. And I think Call of Duty, it doesn't change enough. And even if it did change enough, it wouldn't be COD. It'd probably be like another game. So, boots on the ground, while people may like that, and going back to like World War II or like any of the World Wars, people may like that and think that would be like an instant fix for Call of Duty, but I don't think so. I mean, if we did have a next Call of Duty and it was boots on the ground, which I probably think it is because Sledgehammer has had enough time to absorb like all the hate that the whole franchise has been getting for going futuristic. So the next Call of Duty probably will be boots on the ground. But honestly, I don't think it's gonna do enough for the franchise, and I don't think it's still gonna do as well. Because in my opinion, Ghost, like the franchise really started declining at Ghost at first because people didn't like it. Because of that, people didn't want to buy the next COD as much, and that was Infinite or Advanced Warfare. And because Advanced Warfare wasn't as good and it was futuristic, not so many people wanted to buy Black Ops 3. And in my opinion, if Ghost and Advanced Warfare didn't get up, I actually think Infinite Warfare would actually be doing well, because that means it would have been Black Ops 2, then Black Ops 3, which probably wouldn't be good because it's Treyarch making games back to back. But theoretically, if it was Black Ops 2 and then we did go to Black Ops 3, or heck, if we even did Infinite Warfare first, I don't think it would have gotten as much like hate, because it would be the first COD with the new movement system, and people would get used to it then, and they wouldn't have built up, like had all this hate for COD built up since Ghost. And then if we went to Black Ops 3, Black Ops 3, it was a good game, so I don't think there would be as much hate. And I think those games would have done better than Ghost and Advanced Warfare had they not had like bad games in the past, or had like bad games leading up to them. But I think the main problem with Call of Duty right now is that it's coming out every year and people are tired of Call of Duty in general. Like I said, like other games come out and they're practically the same every time. Like for example, Battlefield 1, it is set in World War, I believe like an alternate version of World War 1, but if you forget about the theme of the game, which is basically World War 1, and compare it to like Battlefield 4, which is like modern, technically they're still pretty similar games. Like you still fly jets, you still have like basically similar guns. Like, I don't play Battlefield so much, but honestly, every first-person shooter has like the main guns, like shotguns, assault rifles, snipers, light machine guns, and Battlefield has all those guns. So the game, and it still plays like similar to Battlefield 4 because it still is a Battlefield, and Battlefield is going to be Battlefield. The graphics are better than Battlefield 4, but that's to be expected with each Battlefield. And it still looks realistic, and there's still a lot of things in the game. Like you still have vehicles, you still have people taking your vehicles from you when you want to get them right off spawn, and you still have like the same game modes. So Battlefield, it really doesn't change a lot, but their sales never really drop. The fans stay happy, and yeah, Battlefield, it stays the same. But the only difference between it and COD is that Call of Duty comes out every single year, and the fans get the same thing every single year. So they never really, we never really have time to get so bored of the current game and enjoy it enough and then move on. Because we've kind of been conditioned to enjoy COD for 1 year, then move on to the next one. And we've been doing that every single year. Whereas like Battlefield, we do that like, what is it, about every two or 3 years. So I think that's the main reason Call of Duty is doing bad. And honestly, the damage might be beyond repair, because if people are tired of Call of Duty, they can move on to next games. And I think that's already happening. So my solution to Activision and like all the Call of Duty developers, if I were in charge, I'd tell them to halt on their next games. The next game is probably going to come out next year, like scheduled, but I think it would be good for Call of Duty if the new COD did not come out for another year or 2 years, because I just think the community needs a break from the new COD, because people aren't liking it. People don't like the futuristic stuff. The developers don't want to be repetitive, but when they try something new, fans just don't like it. So I think people need to just halt. I think everyone needs to just enjoy the Call of Duty that we have now. People can try and get used to Infinite Warfare, but I guess most people don't like it, so they can't. So people can just enjoy like the Call of Duties we have now. Like we still have Black Ops 3. Remember, it's not a rule that you have to leave behind the previous COD. If you liked it, still play it, because people are still online, and a lot of people still do play it. We do have Modern Warfare Remastered, and that's still fun to play. And a lot of people do say they can play it for the next year, even though it's an old COD. Personally, I know I cannot, because I think it's just too old for my blood, honestly. But it's still fun to play. As you can see from this gameplay, I prefer to just snipe in it. I don't really do much else in it, because some things do annoy me, like Juggernaut and all that. But either way, it's still a fun COD to play. But I think it would do good for the franchise if Call of Duty just stopped the every year cycle of launching a game and just cooled down a bit and just took time to kind of like get new ideas and then release a new COD. And I think that would just help the franchise, because having a new game or a new Call of Duty every year, it's worked for the past few years. It was one of the #1 sellers in the US and one of the top games. But now I think it's getting old, and I think that everyone needs a break from Call of Duty, or at least a new one. So that would be my solution to helping Call of Duty. And if that doesn't work, then honestly, I think Call of Duty may not be as big as it was before. Like, don't get me wrong, I still think Call of Duty is gonna still sell well and still have like a lot of players. And I don't think we're gonna have like empty lobbies and new Call of Duties for like a long time to come. But in my opinion, I just think that Call of Duty just needs to slow down for a bit. But either way, it's just my opinions of Call of Duty, and that's why I think it's dying. So to overview, I think Call of Duty is dying because it comes out every year and people are getting tired of it. The developers kind of want to change it because COD's usually the same every year. So they do try to change it, but it didn't work for them and fans aren't liking it. So the solution is basically to probably shift Call of Duty to coming out every 2 to 3 years rather than every year, so people can kind of like take a break from it, and so they're not overwhelmed by new CODs every single year. But anyway, that's my reason why I think Call of Duty is dying. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you agree with me, you can put it in the comments. If you disagree, also put it in the comments. I really want to know everyone else's perspectives. And this has been Consistency. I'm going to let this gameplay just finish. I get Final Kill, just let you guys know. And I'm out. Peace.
Enemy helicopter inbound. Friendly airstrike on the way. to win this one. Keep up the fire. Enemy UAV is airborne.